I went dry land fishing down that same trail I put my camera on, and I found a few small breaks that were up on the smaller trees. You know, a limb broke off to one side, and then on the same tree, another limb broke off to the other side. It was about 4 feet off the ground. It broke off into like the letter Y.
Uh-huh.
And, of course, I never found any dry land fish. I think either the turkeys got them or something else did, deer or whatever. But I found a possible track, but I wasn't really sure what it was. It could have been anything.
Right. A lot of times I think they walk on the ball of their foot. That's what I'm trying to show some tracks that I've found. The pictures I've got on them, because, you know, there's some I've never shared. I got some on video, but
yeah,
I found 5 at one time that was all different sizes, and some of them was 7 inches and under, and a couple of them was 15, 16 inches, and like a family group moving through.
Now, I've gone hunting in other places. I went through this place. It was called, in Indiana, it's called Harrison County Forestry. It's called Wyandotte Woods. And it's in Harrison County, Indiana. And this is back in the 80s. And it was real late in the evening. I was squirrel hunting way back in the woods back in there, and it got real late in the evening. I was by myself, and I got turned around. And I was trying to find the logging road to come out of, and I couldn't find it. And so I sat down, and I'm trying to get my bearings on where I was at, and I heard something walking at the top, just over the other side of this ridge. So I thought it was another hunter, so I hollered up at it. You know, hey, where am I at? And the thing stopped. So I hollered up at it again, and it never made another sound. Then I heard it start walking away. So I hollered at it. I said, hey, where am I at? You know, where are you going?
Yeah.
And never answered me. They kept walking farther and farther away. So I know they could hear me, or it could hear me. The person is what I was thinking it was, the person. But they just kept getting farther and farther away. So I'm not really sure if it was a person or not. You know?
Right. Yeah. Like he was being followed.
I went up toward where that was at, and up there on top of that ridge was that logging road. So I went up there and I found that logging road, and then I followed that logging road out, and I got to my car.
Right.
So
yeah, I've never
seen another vehicle. I never heard another vehicle start up, and I never heard that person, if that's what it was. I'm assuming it could have been, but they never answered me, and I know dang well that they could hear me.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been followed out a couple of times now, and I mean, it's so close sometimes, like 20, 30 yards away. If it would have been a person, you should have been able to see him. And like every time I would stop, this was during deer season, dry out, and the leaves were all dry. And every time I would stop, it would stop, and it's just, you know, you can't see it, and you ought to be able to see it. It's just funny how that happens. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, that was just a strange occurrence, I thought, you know, but that was a long time ago.
Right.
But I've never, you know, just even around there in Cumberland County, I've never had that kind of, anything like that happen to me there at my house. You know, I've never had anything like that happen to me, you know, had anybody follow me.
Yeah.
Like you do around your house.
Yeah. Do you live in a pretty big community, or is just like a...
Oh, it's out in the country.
You're out in the country?
Out in the middle of nowhere like you're at, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've got them. I mean, and that's what I'm interested in, people that's got them around the house. And, you know, a lot of people's probably got them around, like the old feller you was talking about, and don't realize it.
Yeah.
And
well, his wife was telling me that every time she went out to hay the horse, she felt like she was being watched.
Yeah, you get that feeling.
And she would get nervous, you know. And I've walked out there to their pond, you know, to go fishing, and I would hear wood knocks. You know, one single wood knock, you know, back in the woods.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, what did the knock sound like to you?
Like a baseball bat being hit up against a tree.
A real crisp knock. See, and I'm thinking that those might not even be wood knocks.
That's clear as day.
I think it might be more of a mouth pop or something like that noise, but it sounds just like someone with a wooden baseball bat smacking a home run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean you could tell it's you know, up against a tree.
I've had them happen 20 yards away from me here at the house. And I had a couple dogs. I was throwing the ball for it, and they started fighting. And I went to break them up and kind of, you know, kicked one in the butt to get it to quit fighting. He was a stupid dog anyway. She kept fighting with that dog and getting her butt whooped. But, you know, I was breaking them up, and all of a sudden I hear that noise. And like I said, it wasn't. It probably more like 15 yards away. And it's just so crisp and clear. And I mean, it sounds like you take a couple 2x4s and smack them together, just like a baseball bat hitting a ball.
Well, that's pretty close.
Oh, it was very close. And I turned around to get my phone and done it twice. And then that's whenever I heard that huffing, and then it took off through the woods like a bulldozer going through the woods.
Wow.
Yeah, and I've got a picture of the track I found after that too. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind what that was. But I mean, here recently I've seen them, and I've had 3 quick sightings now, and I mean I can't stress how fast these things are. I think that's why people think they disappear, just because they are so fast and so agile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, one of my dogs there where that tree limb break was. In the yard, there's a sharp corner, and it dips down over the hill just a little bit. And unless you see it, I don't know how to describe it other than that. But when it goes over the hill a little bit, it drops down, and then it goes down to the woods, and it drops down to that logging road again.
Yeah.
But you can't see it, the logging road at all. And the dog, every evening he barks in that corner. Every evening. He's always barking in that corner. So I stand there and I watch in that corner all the time. Almost every evening I'm looking in that corner for something. But I never see anything. And I come out early one morning, he's barking in that corner. I come out early and I open up my door and I seen something round. And it was kind of a reddish orangish looking thing about the size of a basketball, and I just seen it duck down over the hill, and it kind of hesitated, went to the right, hesitated, and then ducked down over behind the hill. And I looked at that, and I hesitated and looked, and I was, what in the world was that? And I still play that thing over and over in my mind, like, what in the world was that?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I went back inside, and I grabbed my shotgun. I went back out the door, and I went over there to that corner, and I stood there, and I'm looking all down through the woods, and I'm listening, and I'm looking, and I went down to the logging road, and I looked down in that holler, and I'm looking, and I never heard a thing. I don't know what it was. I have no idea what it could have been.
Well, you probably got an idea now. I mean,
well, I know, but I mean, like I said, it was reddish orangish looking.
Well, they come in different colors. I mean, No,
well, still, I know, but I mean, it was just strange looking.
Right. Well, I mean, to be honest, there's more than just boogers out there, and there's different types of boogers too.
Yeah.
You know, from what I've been learning, there's 4 major types, and each one has like a subspecies or whatever. And yeah, but it's hard to say what all's out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think the government probably knows a little bit more than what they tell us.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
And it's, you know, probably over money or whatever is the reason they don't tell us these things. You know, forestry industry, or I think a lot of the national parks are put there because of these things. But I mean, that's just my opinion. I don't know. I'm just an old hillbilly.
Yeah.
But, well, man, I appreciate you letting us know your encounters, and I think, you know, more people ought to know what's around. And I've always went out in the woods, and I've always carried something, you know, packed a gun with me, because there's things out there that, you know, like here in eastern Kentucky, we've got, besides the boogers, we've got mountain lions, we've got bears, coyotes, wolves, and you know, that's just the things that I've seen, that I know. Plus, you got, you know, different snakes and stuff like that.
I've gotten pictures of bear on my game camera.
Right.
And I know we got mountain lions. You know, I haven't seen them personally myself, but other people have.
Right. I've seen two
down
here.
The road, and I mean, he's had them run across the road in front of him. You know, while he's driving down the road.
Yeah.
But, so I know, but I don't. If the boogers wanted to hurt you, they'd have done it by now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've never really feared that one peeking in my window. Kind of got to me. You know what I mean? But you know, if anything's looking in your window watching you sleep, that's kind of spooky. But yeah, they've had plenty of chances to get me, and I've been here since I was a baby, growing up. Mom used to have to come to get me during the summertime to, you know, whenever we'd take our vacation to the beach or whatever, because I would be down here, and about every weekend or every other weekend I would be down here. And, you know, this is the place I love. This is like heaven for me, basically. And I've always went out in the woods ever since I was, you know, old enough to walk. Either, you know, Dad or Papa would take me walking in the woods, or we'd go hunting or whatever. And Papa was a wealth of knowledge on different plants, and, you know, he loved the outdoors and critters and all that.
Right.
And, you know, they've never bothered me. I used to go camping out in the rock cliffs up here during hunting season, just so I could be out in the woods and not have to walk in the mornings, you know, all by myself whenever I was a teenager and stuff like that, and they never bothered me. But that's not to say that they couldn't. I think they've got temperament, much like humans, and you've got good ones and bad ones, and they can get ugly. But yeah, they haven't really harmed me in any way yet. So that's, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, yeah, their intentions aren't. I don't think their intentions are to hurt you none.
No, I don't either.
If they wanted to, they'd have done that. So already, you know. But they chose you for some reason. You just got to figure out why.
Yeah. Well, see, I had logging done here about 4 years ago, and that's whenever all this started up. So I don't know if they got mad about the logging, which could have been.
I don't think. I don't think so.
Well, the loggers were very disrespectful, and I got mad at them. I actually ended up running them out of here because they were disrespectful, and they was throwing trash down and everything else, even though I'd brought a trash can up there and all that for them. But yeah, they wasn't. Wish we would have shopped around a little bit better. I'll just leave it like that. But yeah, I mean, I can't say for sure if that's what it was, or if it was where I was leaving dog food out. Now I've learned that they go after deer corn and all that. I've had gut piles go missing. That, you know, I'll take the liver and the heart and stuff like that out of a deer and set it aside, and I'll usually bring it in, and I'll eat part of it or feed it to my dogs or whatever. But I left one behind before on a log, you know, not on the ground. And they got the gut pile, the heart and all that, but left the gut pile.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna end the interview part, and then me and you can chat. But I'm gonna turn off my cameras and everything. But I appreciate you sharing all that with me. I'm not a very good interviewer, but I like to hear people and hear their stories.
Well, I think you did mighty fine.
Well, I try my best, whatever I do.
Yeah.
All right.